Hello friends, I am going to speak on anemia today. So to begin with, what are the major causes for anemia? That's what I am going to speak to you about, because that's where I got this idea of speaking about anemia today. One is the very common one seen in our country is the worm infestations. Because most of our population remain below poverty line, this is still considered one of the main reason for anemia. And it is for the same reason that just last week, if I'm right, there was an initiative from the government's end to provide albendazole, which is an anti-helminthic or one which helps to get rid of the worm infestation, and this was given to all children between the ages of 1 to 19. So that is one main reason for anemia. Apart from that, any condition where we tend to lose lot of blood, as in surgeries, it could be some major accidents, traumas, it could be normally in women during menstruation, if there is a heavy blood loss, then that can cause anemia, and post delivery also. Along with delivery, if they they anyway tend to lose some blood, and that could cause anemia. And apart from this, in ladies, when I speak about, even during pregnancy there tends to be anemia, because the blood volume, the amount of blood, which is generally 5 liters, goes up to 7.5 liters during pregnancy. So the RBCs may not be produced in proportion to this gain in the blood volume, and that can also lead to anemia. So these are the various reasons for anemia. Now, what is exactly anemia? Anemia is a condition where you do not have enough red blood cells or red blood corpuscles, or their oxygen carrying capacity to the cells reduce. So that's when we tend to see the symptoms like pallor, which is nothing but paleness, or extreme tiredness. Some dark circles around the eyes is noticed, lack of appetite is noticed, insomnia is noticed, hair loss could be noticed. So there are many symptoms which could tell that a person is anemic. And when we look at the signs, like the doctors would look at your nails or the color of the conjunctiva, your tongue, and we will be able to know that perhaps the person is anemic. So generally people say that we need to eat proper iron. There should be adequate intake of iron to stop getting into the state of anemia. But it is not only iron which contributes to this. I will tell you the many reasons for anemia. Now, when we speak about the conditions which could lead to anemia, I was already telling you few of the causative factors for anemia, where I have not touched upon some genetic factors. So there are families where we tend to see that their hemoglobin, the entire family or those who have inherited that gene, could have deficient RBCs, or leading to anemic condition. There can also be conditions like thalassemia, which is a genetic disorder. There is also sickle cell anemia, which is another condition where the RBCs change their shape, and so they clump together and they die before their usual tenure or the normal tenure, and that can lead to anemia. So there are various medical conditions as well which tend to lead to anemia. Now, once again, when I say anemia is not a simple condition, it's not like, yes, it's just that your hemoglobin is way below the normal, and you can somehow carry on with life without having to address it. No, that is not how it is. You need to take anemia seriously, because there could also be some underlying conditions which can lead to anemia. So anemia would just be an indicator in that case. So it should never be left unattended to. You need to take it seriously and address it accordingly. Now, apart from these signs that I mentioned, what are the things that one need to look into. Now, anemia, basically when we look at the definition or what exactly anemia is, the RBCs or the red blood corpuscles or the red blood cells in your body tend to reduce, or their oxygen carrying capacity. So this oxygen carrying capacity, it is by the hemoglobin. It is a protein which is present in this, which will carry the oxygen to the cells, that reduces. So your cells will actually get deprived of oxygen, and which is the life force, isn't it? We need oxygen for our survival. So when that is reduced, it basically impacts the entire body, from the mind to the physical self. The entire body gets affected through anemia. So apart from looking at the signs which I mentioned, like the nails or the tongue or the conjunctiva or the sclera and the tongue and so on, we also look at certain indicators, that is through the blood test. So we would ask you to get a hemoglobin test or the hematocrit value. This will be looked into to see how exactly the cells are distributed. We might ask you to get a total iron binding capacity test to be done, where we will ask you for serum ferritin and so on. Now, this is all related to the microcytic anemia, which is caused by iron deficiency. So this is very commonly seen kind of anemia. Now, apart from that, we might also ask you, like if we think that iron is not the reason there, then we might ask you to check serum folic acid level, the folates, or we might also ask you to get the B12 checked, evaluated, that is the vitamin B12 evaluated. So these are also contributing factors to anemia. So there, in that case, it would be the folic acid and the vitamin B12 which need to be supplemented. And when we supplement these things, it's not just the supplementation which would work. It has to be absorbed properly by the body. We call it as a bioavailability. That is, how much of it is actually being absorbed by the body and how much of it is being put into use to help you with better hemoglobin levels. So it is that, and for that reason we need to make sure that the digestion is proper and the absorption is proper. It is here that the worms come into place. So to begin with, I mentioned about the first reason that I told you was of worm infestations. So with the worm infestations, this absorption is reduced, or it is being impaired, and that's the reason one could get anemia. So when you supplement iron, we also need to make sure that it has to be given with vitamin C, because it is only in the presence of vitamin C that one can absorb iron. Now, when we look at the sources of iron, per se, it would be, I would say, all green leafy vegetables, dark green leafy vegetables will provide you with iron. Then there is some fruits which can give you adequate iron, dates, raisins, the black, especially the dark black raisins, are very rich in iron. Then pomegranate is a good iron source. Beetroot is a good source of iron. Now, the iron that we get from these sources are not as good or as bioavailable as the iron that we get from the non-vegetarian source. But that does not mean that you have to eat non-vegetarian food just to get this iron. It is just as a mention that I am telling you here, and you need to to make this get maximum available to your body, you need to take vitamin C along with this. So vitamin C, the sources are, we know, citrus fruits, all citrus fruits, lemons, oranges, musambi, all of these. Pineapple also has vitamin C. Then you can take gooseberry, which is very rich in vitamin C. All kinds of berries, strawberries and even kiwis, and all these are very good sources of vitamin C. So make sure that when you supplement your iron through these natural, herbal, plant-based food, you need to take vitamin C also along with it. Now, if it is when I tell you about the folic acid or the vitamin B12 deficiency leading to anemia, then accordingly you need to supplement with folic acid or the B12, and B12 is not got through vegetarian sources, it is only through non-vegetarian sources. So if a vegetarian develops a B12 deficiency, then he or she needs to definitely go with the supplementation, external supplementation. And for folic acid, it is very important, the folic acid content in our body, especially for women during pregnancy, because it could lead to many other complications. And folic acid can be got through all vegetarian sources. There are, because it is present only in vegetarian source, I would say. So folic acid can be got through all the leafy vegetables, through all the most of the vegetables and the fruits, especially the green leafy vegetables have folates in them. So but if you take all these in adequate quantity, then to a large extent you can prevent the occurrence of anemia. Now, beyond this, as I told you, there can also be situations where there are some underlying conditions, and so it has to be addressed appropriately. So the normal, if you ask me what is the normal level of hemoglobin, I can I need to tell you then about the values of all these things, folic acid and B12 and ferritin and all of those, but I'm just going to tell you about the hemoglobin generally, because that's primarily what we assess if we suspect one of having anemia. So that would be anywhere between 11 to 14 in females, and it could be between 13 to 17 in men. So if you fall into this range, then you are safe. Anyway, it would be, if you think that you still have some kind of a pallor or weakness, extreme tiredness, and the symptoms that I mentioned earlier, it's always you meet a doctor. And if the deficiency is really a lot, then there are cases where we also need to do some transfusion, which I don't have to tell you now, because it's the doctor who is going to decide about that. So I guess this has been helpful, and so until I come up with another topic, stay safe, stay healthy, and see you soon. Bye.